Have you ever really thought about how the ground beneath our feet shapes the very way we live our lives? Well, today, we're going to dive deep into that question. We're looking at two states, right inside the same country, India, that could not be more different, to see how their unique environments have created completely different ways of life.
So picture this. On one side, you've got Rajasthan in the west. Think vast, dry, desert landscapes. And on the other side, Assam, way out in the east, a place that's bursting with life, thanks to the massive Brahmaputra River and its yearly floods. We're talking polar opposites here. And that contrast, well, that's the key to our whole story.
So that brings us to the big question, right? How do people actually do it? How do they adapt? Because this isn't just about maps and geography. It's really a story about people, about human resilience, and some incredible ingenuity when faced with what nature throws at them.
All right, let's head west and start in Rajasthan. Now, this is India's largest state, and a huge chunk of it is desert. So you can probably guess the #1 challenge, the thing that shapes everything else. It's all about one thing: water, or more specifically, the lack of it. Now get this. Even though it's a desert, a staggering 62% of the people there depend on agriculture for their living. Just let that sink in for a second. In a place defined by dryness, most people are still farming the land. That right there tells you they must have figured out some pretty amazing ways to make it work.
And believe me, the challenges are huge. The rain is scarce and totally unpredictable. And unlike a lot of India, Rajasthan has no perennial rivers, the kind that flow all year round. That means they have to rely heavily on groundwater, which is running out. And all of this is tough on the soil. The deck is really stacked against them.
But, and this is where it gets really fascinating, when you're faced with that much scarcity, you get creative. And a lot of times, that creativity means looking back at ancient wisdom. And there's one person's story that just shows this perfectly.
He's known as the Waterman of India. His name is Rajendra Singh, and he's an environmentalist who's become the central figure in Rajasthan's modern fight for water.
So what did he do? Well, his organization went back to basics. They revived an ancient technique, building these things called johads. They're basically simple, community-owned dams made of earth that catch the monsoon rains. The water then soaks into the ground and recharges the water table. And the results? They built over 8,600 of them and brought water back to more than 1,000 villages. It's an incredible story of community power.
You also see this clever adaptation in what they choose to grow. It's all about timing. During that short, wet season, they plant super tough, drought-resistant crops like pearl millet. Then, things like wheat that need more water, they wait for the cooler winter season and use irrigation. Their entire year is like this carefully choreographed dance with scarcity.
Okay, so let's pack our bags and travel all the way east to Assam. Here, we're flipping the script completely. The story isn't about scarcity. It's about an overwhelming abundance of water, all thanks to the mighty Brahmaputra River. The Brahmaputra is the absolute lifeblood of Assam. It cuts right through the state, and every year when it floods, it leaves behind this layer of super-rich, fertile soil. Think of it like the river giving the land a fresh, nutrient-packed topcoat every single year. It makes the land perfect for farming.
And you can see just how central farming is right here. Remember that 62% in Rajasthan? Pretty high, right? Well, in Assam, it's a whopping 80% of the workforce. The land is so productive, it's the undisputed backbone of the entire economy.
And we're not just talking about local farms. Assam is a powerhouse on the world stage. It's actually the single largest tea-growing region in the world. In fact, it produces an incredible 12% of all the tea we drink on the entire planet. Chances are, the tea in your cup might have come from right here.
And if you need any more proof of just how much water there is, look no further than this. Water is so plentiful, farmers in Assam can grow rice not just once or even twice, but 3 separate times a year. It's a non-stop cycle of planting and harvesting, all fueled by that amazing river.
But here's the thing. Having too much of a good thing can be a challenge too. Those same floods that make the soil rich can also wash away entire crops. The high humidity is great for growing, but it's also great for pests and diseases. It's a constant balancing act.
Okay, so this whole story of adaptation goes way beyond just farming. It weaves itself into the culture, into the art. You can literally see how the local environment shapes what people create with their hands.
And you can see the difference so clearly right here. In dry Rajasthan, what's under your feet? Stone, minerals. So what do you get? This absolutely incredible stone carving and jewelry. But in Assam, you're surrounded by lush forests. So what do they use? Bamboo, cane, silk. It just makes perfect sense, right?
Each craft tells you the story of the land it came from.
All right, let's look at one last piece of the puzzle, the movement of people. Because in many ways, migration is the ultimate form of adaptation. You move to where the opportunity is. And once again, the two states are polar opposites. In Rajasthan, the tough farming conditions tend to push people out, looking for more reliable work in nearby industrial states. But in Assam, it's the reverse. All those rich resources, the tea, the coal, the oil, they act like a magnet, pulling workers in from all over. So, when we circle all the way back and ask what a livelihood really is, this is what we mean. It's so much more than just a job or a paycheck, isn't it? It's the entire system, the whole masterpiece of human survival and creativity, all shaped by the canvas of the land itself.
And that really brings us to today. The stories of Rajasthan and Assam aren't just history lessons. As our own climate changes, as some places get drier and others get wetter, we have to ask ourselves, what can we learn from their resilience? What can their incredible stories of adaptation teach all of us about our own future?